have to eat like slaves anymore because we're not slaves.
If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel.
Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is another wonderful day, another wonderful moment that we can actually, spend a little time with each other, talk about some things that's on our mind. And I'm really, really happy to be here. And the reason I'm so happy to be here because we get a chance to look at what we've been believing in for so long. Not so much the knowledge, but it's just I guess you can say the belief system that we have. We have superstitions. We have all types of beliefs from different religions. All of these things, they make up how we feel about what we eat. So it's not just nutrition. It comes with your old beliefs, what was going on in your family earlier and what they passed on to you, how they ate, how they survived, their attitudes toward food. All of that stuff is right with you right now. And we continue to spread it. And if we don't stop and check it, what we do is in many cases, we're spreading this news of, let me see, can I say the news that we're spreading is more, it goes unchecked, it's rampant. So we want to just look at that today. But before we get into that, we're going to say hello to the wonderful Carolyn Gento. Carolyn Gento, good morning to you in beautiful California.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm come on now. I'm super great. I'm looking forward to everything in front of me.
Absolutely. I am as well. And I just want to say good morning to everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram. Today's topic is outdated nutrition habits. So everyone, if you can please share the live out. Share it out so we can have others be a part of the conversation and get into the comments. I see Yolanda here. Good morning. Woohoo. Good morning, blessings. Tuning in from Dearborn, Michigan. Big Mama. We have got Shirley Gentle. Good morning and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And we have Carlisle M.
Michael. That's Michael Carlisle.
Yeah, I was about
Michael,
to say him.
You know what? We can bring Michael. You need to later on, if you're not right now, but if you feel like it later on, please come on up here. I want you to share your experience with some of the things that have happened that seems mystical when it comes to health. I know we were talking about that a little bit, so we'd love for you to come up and talk about that today, because we're going to be talking about beliefs. We're going to be talking about, the miracles. Do you believe in miracles, Carolyn?
I do. I do believe in miracles.
Okay, good. So that's let's talk about those today.
Okay.
So let me go over here. I want to see who's with us up here. We have on Instagram, we have, I think I am Charlie Wilson joined. Charlie Wilson, or is it Lakari? I think that's what it is. You know what I was thinking about? Charlie Wilson is the artist from Gap Band. Anyway, Uncle Charlie. But anyway, if I messed that up, a lot of love to you. We got the one and only Akari. Akari is, oh, that's a beautiful name. Akari Wilson, thank you very much for being here today. Sky Aim Productions in the house. Thank you so much for being here. And we also have
Unhailed.
Unhailed. Okay, we have
I believe
Unhailed here.
that's Angel. Yes, it is. That's Angel. She used to always join us in Clubhouse.
Oh, Angel, thank you so much for being here. It's so wonderful to have you here. So we're off to a beautiful start, and let's go ahead and talk about it. We want to thank everybody for getting up, getting out, and getting on. And we're really going to make this a very beautiful experience. And thank you very much for my Detroit family for being here. And thank you very much for my California family for being here and people from all over. So happy birthday to Nurse Cheryl Lee, Gentle Smart. This is definitely our wonderful gift to us. She's constantly giving gifts of her knowledge and her time, and being a great mother and a great sister and a great friend. She's just a beautiful person. So happiest birthday to you. Okay, so we were talking about earlier, those of you that and please get into this, because I'm not saying this to talk anybody's beliefs down, but I just want you to get a idea of how our eating habits are affected. So we'll start off with some people that believe in miracles. This is not good or bad, right or wrong. This is just saying that they are beliefs. So some people, a miracle would be something that people think is really impossible, but it happened anyway, right? That's what a miracle is. It's like when you say, ain't no way that can happen. No way, that's impossible, right? Okay, so good. We're on the same page here. So then you have people that say, wait a minute, if God is everything and God is omniscient and omnipotent and omnipresent, how is it a possibility that anything is impossible? You see? So if that's the case, that there's nothing that is impossible to God, then where does miracle come in? You see? So that's worth really discussing, because it's again, these are just some of the ways that we actually are kind of like wear on our defense system, and there's a lot of resistance there. But let's see if we can today. You can find some things, some seeds, and plant those seeds so that we won't keep turning this same stuff over year after year, generation after generation. Our children still coming up, drinking the same animals' milk. We have people that are, like the sisters that have children, but they refuse to milk the child. They have to have the formulas. And now the people that have the children, because of overuse of these formulas, we have some allergic reactions to them. It goes on. So we're going to do our best to look past that stuff. And we don't want to look past it. We want to look at it, and then we want to do something about it. Okay. So let's, before we go on, Kara, do you have any questions or comments or anything before we go? Because I'm getting ready to get into this, and I'm just excited about it. Go right ahead.
Well, I mean, not really. I don't. I'm actually really hyped and ready to hear about what you have to say. So I don't have anything else to add. Just for everyone, just a reminder to share the live out, and here we go. I'm ready.
All right. Thank you so much. So, first of all, when we get started here, we look at some of the weird food superstitions. And some of those superstitions are like cutting the cake before Christmas Eve. You ever heard of that one before? uh, and how about black eyed peas on New Year's Day? We have another one that the garlic keeps vampires away. Now, nobody's really seen a vampire. However, people believe in this fiction that they see on TV, and they actually think that if they have garlic in their home, the cloves of garlic, then this is one way to keep away vampires and even those people that are the Walking Dead. Now, all of this might be fiction to us, but some people are very serious with this. As a matter of fact, there is a few places in America where they build their homes with some kind of retreat in case the Walking Dead attacks them during whatever, I guess, when the Walking Dead rises or something. But you have this kind of stuff that is constantly plaguing our belief system or the facts about nutrition. I want to thank, I got hearts already up, going up. This is going to be beautiful, looking good. Thank you very much. How about, have you ever heard long noodles equals a long life? Now, this is like China has this rich history in foods and holidays that celebrate luck and tradition. And when planning the next Asian themed dinner party, include a noodle dish on the menu, but serve the noodles uncut. They feel that those people that are superstitious about this is that some Chinese cultures believe that long noodles symbolizes a long life. So cutting the noodles before serving symbolizes cutting your life short. Woo! That would be really a trip if that happens, huh? Your whole life, it depends on the cutting of a noodle. Now, just to make this clear, the cutting the noodle is before you eat it, because when we masticate, when we eat it, it's going to be broken up anyway. So, see if we can make sense out of it. Another superstition that involves food is throwing the rice at a wedding. Now, I've been to a wedding and people was throwing rice and a fight almost broke out with the groom and some other guy, because the guy was throwing the rice. I don't think he meant any harm, but rice really hurts. And the guy just got splattered with all of this rice. And well, let's just say this, he got very, very upset. So those of you that you have sought, the rice at the weddings, make sure you toss it up in the air and let it fall down. You don't throw it at the person, okay? The act is meant to symbolize the hope of a good health and prosperity, and that's what it means. In all honesty, scattering uncooked rice all over the place, it sounds like a hazard to me, but some people like to do that. So, and you can always buy confetti, and it's soft paper and it doesn't hurt anybody. Another bad luck or something that is said to bring bad luck is spilling salt. And spilling salt supposed to that's bad luck. That brings you bad luck. Now, some consider bad luck to spill salt, but the superstition actually originates from the remedy. You can reverse your impending misfortune by throwing a handful of salt over your left shoulder. And you can also skip this risk, and you can keep your salt shakers upright. And you can also make these crave-worthy salted chocolate chip cookies instead, if you really want to do something creative with the salt. But these are some really crazy ones. So if you have bad luck, in order to nullify that, throwing a little salt or a handful of salt over your left shoulder, that means you reverse that the bad luck. If you want to reverse the bad luck, you take the salt and throw it over your left shoulder. Wow. So now these are some of the real easier ones. The ones that we really look at, some of the things that are old and we can really help to update ourselves is when it comes to the nutrition knowledge. Now, science means facts, and facts change, but principles don't. So we talked about this before. Many of us are still eating according to what we feel are facts. So that's why I use trusted sources constantly. I make sure that when I'm doing my research, trusted sources. That means that other people have looked at the same thing that I'm looking at, and these are the results of doing that. They have a really wonderful layout, organized news, organized education, organized knowledge. And this, as opposed to, or in converse, it really, some people really feel that the things that they were told, or they saw somebody on TV, a celebrity. Celebrities are very powerful because they're very influential. They're called influencers also. And when you get an influencer that's saying, look, I don't do this, I don't do that, then you have a person that's endorsing a certain behavior. So I'm going to just share with you a few things that you can keep in mind, because these are some of the things, if you haven't changed them yet, it'll be a good idea to look deeper into them so that you don't keep moving forward in your family evolving, well, kind of not just devolving, because you are not moving forward and moving upward with new ways to think about old things. Okay. So let's relearn, if you will. Let's re-educate ourselves. Let's start off with calories. Now, calories are units of heat and energy. Now, when you're talking about units of heat and energy, most of us were told, you have to have like so much heat and to raise the temperature of water 1 degree Celsius. And nobody really understands that. It's like, oh, really? How do you make that pragmatic? How can I see it? How can I work or make this work in my everyday life? So let's make it simple. When you're eating calories are units of heat and units of energy. So when a person eats too much or has food has calories, and when you're talking about the food that you've overeaten, that means that your body is going to either do one or two things. We're going to use it up. It's going to break down for energy, or excess will be stored. So that's why you have people that are larger, they store more energy. And usually they're stronger because they have more mass. But it doesn't mean healthier in many cases, because when you're overweight, then you also are your propensity of being larger, or different diseases like illness, like your infection, and mortality. All of this is you start to really increase the chance when we don't eat correctly. Now, I've been saying this so long that sometimes it seems like, wow, I've said that many years ago, but the thing is beyond my age. It's like your mother's age and the mother's age, and on, because we started this and we didn't ever stop it. We start eating in a way, and I'm speaking about Black folks now, we start eating in a way that would help us to survive. And some of us are still eating according to that state of survival, and when we don't have to. This is a time in our lives where we have some of the richest and the most wealthy Black people ever. And there's been a time that we also have seen this time that we've set up different cities like Allensworth. We set up other cities like, in Oklahoma, Black Wall Street and so forth. There's so many, and there's also other very positive and very wealthy communities, of Black communities that have existed, that have been burnt down, and a lot of them are underwater now. Yes, that's right. The whole damn city is underwater. The whole city. And this is just some of the cruel things that happened to our ancestors. I'll dip into that perhaps later on, but you get the idea. And that's what's happening today. We continue to do things as if we were still slaves. And that's why I wrote The Slaves of the Tongue. We'll talk about those things as we go along, but now keep this in mind. We were taught, and we still taught today, that calories in, calories out is all that matters when it comes to weight loss. And that is so untrue, though creating a calorie deficit by burning more energy than you take in. Most important factor is that it comes when it comes down to weight loss, is not the only thing that matters. It's not the only calories in and calories out isn't the only thing that matters. And that's what has been pushed for years. Relying solely on calorie intake doesn't account for large number of variables that may prevent someone from losing weight. Even when on a low calorie diet is still not a good idea. For example, hormonal imbalances, health conditions like hypothyroidism, metabolic adaptations, the use of certain medications, and genetics are just some of the factors that may make weight loss harder for some people. And even when they're on a strict diet, it's still you're still at a risk of regaining all of that weight back and usually overdoing it. You see, when you work on the body and just the body, that habit can change, but changing your mind, your behavior is what is long lasting. If you are feeling offended by what I'm saying, like you don't let my confidence insult your insecurity. It's really about what you believe and what you like. When people say stuff like, I am going to eat what I want to eat and nobody can tell me what to eat, they are right. They're absolutely right. They can eat what they want to eat. They're grown, and they tend to get very defensive when you talk about what they eat. But we don't have time for that. What really works is that you choose the eating lifestyle that best suit you. That's why we have lacto-vegetarians. We have ovo-lacto-vegetarian, vegan. We have raw food vegans. We have people that are just eating a basic some of just the standard American diet. We have different ways to eat, but choosing the one that reduces illness and disease, sickness and mortality, that's the one we should be choosing. And what we keep choosing is just fun, because all we want to do is have fun. We've been taught that to just, as long as it's good, it has to taste good. As long as is one of those things that we do to make ourselves feel good. We want dessert all day long, and these are some of the very, very unsafe and unhealthy ways to eat food on a daily basis. So, it's very important. So this concept also fails to emphasize the importance of sustainability and diet quality for weight loss. So when we talk about losing weight and you're talking about just calories in and calories out, sounds great on TV, but in real life, it does not work. You need four things that I can think of right offhand. One, of course, is the nutrient dense food. So when you're eating something, remember you are nourishing that king, that queen. You're nourishing on the spiritual level, you're nourishing your temple, you're nourishing what you've been blessed with. Now, some people have had it hard. Like, I remember just sitting up and listening to Andre Brown. I simply call him little brother. That's my little brother in the story. But with Andre Brown, he tells the story about when he went to the army and how he had to fight against all those different new ways that they were teaching him and, brainwashing them pretty much into all kinds of dangerous situations. And now that's suffering. But when he learned better and he really stuck to those things that really count. I've been through some really rough periods with Andre, and there's been times that he's been, wanted to hurt himself, do, self-harm. But I'm happy to say that, through the love and respect that we have for each other, we found a way to say, keep on living, Dre, keep on going. Everybody loves you. Those people that are been close to you are still close to you. And, it's good to see that he's made that decision. The whole act of suicidal ideation is really something that's very serious and it plagues many African-American brothers. And so we want to give up, I'm thinking Andre is on here today with us right now. And I'm so happy that he's here. And, Ninja Forever, we have been in the Ninja Karate and Health Club in Detroit for many, many years. We grew up together, and from the cradle to the grave, that's where we are. The next thing that I want you to keep in mind as far as these old thoughts are high fat foods. People say that they're unhealthy. They say, this is antiquated and is incorrect. It's an incorrect theory that slowly is being put to rest. And I'm glad to hear it, because some people still fear high fat foods and they follow these low fat diets in hopes. When I say that word, it just always reminds me to tell you that hope is not a strategy. You really and truly have to understand that hope is not a strategy. A strategy is planning. It's a schematic. Is an algorithm. It is something that you write up or something that you think out the ideal way to achieve certain things by following certain steps. Okay, I'll stop right here before we continue on here. Carolyn, why don't you come on up? I'm sure we have people that are just coming in, and we definitely want to stop for a minute and say thank you.
Absolutely. I'm just going through and looking through the comments here. And earlier you asked me if I believe in miracles, and I said yes, I do believe in miracles. And Andre had a comment here: it's a miracle that things happen to me in life, challenge out me into situations that God miracles got me, has me still here. And that goes here and strong. So just going off of what you just said in regards to Andre having those obstacles, and I'm just so happy that he got through those obstacles and you were there to help him through that. So that's one thing. And just here, again, Andre is the same big brother. We're all here and loving it to hear Dr. Zari always teaching and giving great information. So thank you so much for that. And I have to say hello to my mama. Hi, Mom. Good to see you here. Thank you so much. Yolanda is saying absolutely. Everyone is different. We have to choose a better and healthier lifestyle. And I absolutely agree with that, Yolanda. For anyone that's just joining us, please make sure you share the live. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram. Hello to Instagram. I'm looking at my phone right now. Hello, Instagram. So anyone that's just joining us, we are talking about outdated nutrition habits. And Dr. Zari was just breaking down to us just that information, and I'm really enjoying it. So again, if you are on the YouTube channel and you have not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Anyone that's listening and that's not on YouTube, the YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zari. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Zari. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Really appreciate it. And welcome, Mrs. Gento and Mr. Gento. I'm saying in advance. I know Mr. Gento is usually at work at this time, and if he can get a break from all those responsibilities, he'll be listening, but he's always tuning in. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Dr. Zari, there's one thing that you mentioned as far as things that we do that we see growing up, and we would still do them right now. And that is one thing. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. My family's from Belize. One thing that we do is we wash the rice before we cook it. So it's like putting the water in there, washing the rice, and then draining the water, and then the water you put again in there to cook it. So I don't know if that's something that, I guess it may be something that a lot of people do. I know I do it. Some people may not, but that's one thing I wanted to share too, as you were going through the list of things that people do that others may not.
Yeah, well, you know what I think is a real good idea. That's, a lot of times when it comes to grains, especially, there's just sometimes a lot of there's little dirt, soil that may be still on the grain, or you see that sometimes on potatoes. Sometimes you have maybe a bag of beans and you see little rocks or something.
Right.
I can't even count how many times I've been into a rock, and I'm like, what the, and it's like it's not all that it's not fun at all. But
right.
That's a great idea, to rinse. Many families do that, and that's really a great awareness, cleaning, making sure it's clean. The same thing for a lot of like collard greens and the collards or the mustard greens and so forth. They wash them first. And it even goes even more into like when people are eating hog maws and chitlins and all that. Although I've had plenty arguments in my family about chitlins and all that stuff.
Right.
But I think as we've gotten older, that my cousins, my extended family, my people that used to eat that when we were younger, they don't touch it anymore. And Black people do have a propensity for high blood pressure,
yes.
essential hypertension. And this can be a huge problem because sometimes you can have high blood pressure and you don't even know it. And as you have high blood pressure and you don't put it in check, you are definitely putting a strain on your kidneys.
Oh, yes.
And you don't want to we don't want to curve it, but we want you to know that these are things that you have to be aware of, because there's some damage that you can do to your body that's irreversible.
Right.
And I don't like to even get a cold, forget being sick. I don't even want, if I sneeze too much, I'm checking it hard,
Right.
But in the whole idea that we have about taking care of ourselves should always be proactive.
Absolutely.
We don't wait until you get sick. Do it as if you already have it.
Right.
That means take care of yourself like I take care of myself like I'm sick now. I make sure
Mhm.
I get a lot of rest, a lot of fluids, and make sure I get some exercise. I'm moving, and that's my recipe every day. But
Yeah.
when you get sick, now you can't do what's necessary for you to stay well. So that's why we're talking about this today.
And
It's a
this
beautiful.
one question that Andre has is that he's asking what tea you got today. What tea are you
Ah,
doing? Any tea today? Ah, there you go.
yes, you're so right, little brother. This is green tea, and this green tea is so good. I really love this because it helps me to be I'm relaxed. I don't use any sugar or anything in it. This is bag tea. They have other loose teas that are they're even more so incredible. But yes, thanks for asking, my brother. And this is a green tea, and here's to all my beautiful family.
Absolutely. All right.
Woo. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and continue, Kara. So let's go ahead here now. I want to get down to we're talking about the high fat foods. And now this is one of another myth and other people that actually hold on to this antiquated, this superannuated information. And instead of holding on to it, let's give you some other stuff that you can hold on to, because this is super important. The dietary fat that people are talking about, these high fat foods, they're like, don't eat these foods, don't mess with, no. I tell you why I disagree with this, because dietary fat is essential for optimal health. Plus, the low-fat diets have been linked to a greater risk in health issues, including metabolic syndrome, and it may lead to an increase in insulin resistance and triglyceride levels, which are known as risk factors for heart disease. Now, what's more is that the diets that are higher in fat have been proven just as effective, or even more so than those low fat diets when it comes to encouraging weight loss. Of course, the extremes in either direction, not having enough or having too much, whether is very low fat diet or very high fat diet, it could cause harm to your health, because the extremities is where we hurt ourselves most. Did you know, like, the way that we, like, when people say, oh, don't eat that, that's a poison, like calciferol, for instance, like when people are talking about other forms of vitamin D, or maybe like ascorbic acid, or maybe if they're talking about retinol, or whatever they're speaking about, benzoic acid, or whatever it is, when the cyanocobalamin, and all of these things that I named are things that we can eat, and it's a very important part of our balance. But if you overdose any of those that I just mentioned, it can then be a toxin, and it works against you. Why? Because you're taking too much of it. Now, many people think that being fine, all you have to do is be fine and get some compliments, like that's going to be your health. That ain't got a damn thing to do with your health, because that is just how we attract people from the outside. Good looks really comes down to meaning that you have a higher chance of maybe dating someone or being attractive to someone. It doesn't make them any good, but it's just one of those things that we've learned, that outside thing. But now that we've been going inside to find out what is going on, if you're looking good, but you don't have a regulated bowel movement, what else do I have to say about that? You walking around constipated, but you look good. And we got to get past that, where we can look good and we can also be very, very healthy. And that's where we want to get to. Next is this breakfast is the most important meal of the day stuff. While, once people thought about eating breakfast was one of the most important factors in setting yourself up for a healthy day, research has shown that this might not be the case in most adults. Now, for instance, or even before I go into the adults, is that the adults are usually, by the time, if they're still eating cereal, and you've been eating cereal ever since you've been like 4 months old, most likely you are borderline diabetic, or you are a person already with diabetes or some metabolic syndrome, or something, like insulin resistant, because all of that sugar and all of those years. So if you're still eating these different boxes of cereal where you pour on the milk and you got to have it, I'm not talking about emergency. If there's nothing else there, hunger redefines most ways of surviving. So hunger is a whole different thing. I'm not talking about hunger and starvation. I'm talking about when you have a choice. And that's the biggest thing that we do. We spend all of this money on hair, on face, on boots, on luggage, and what we carry, earrings, jewelry, all of that stuff. And sometimes we're not doing anything but dressing up a mess. A hot mess. And that hot mess continues if we don't change the way that we think. Now, some people, hey, I'm not opposed to looking great or doing what you can to improve your appearance. That is all beautiful. I don't care. Some people are naturally large people. Period. They're just naturally large. It doesn't mean that it's something wrong with all the name calling and all of that stuff. And that's what Lizzo is proving to the world. That's why Lizzo is very, very rich. She's like $4 million. Her net worth is about $40 million. It's $40 million strong. So Lizzo is, would automatically, a person would look at her and say, oh, she's obese. But how many obese people or large people have, stepped out of those names, stepped out of that judgment and say, look, I'm going to take care of myself. This is what I can do with what I have. And I'm sure with the wherewithal to do these things now, she eats healthier. She makes sure that her health is good because she has to perform and so forth. I don't look at her as just a lazy person that will just throw anything in her body. She's particular about what she eats, I don't know. I think I would say particular about what she wears, but it's according to her, what she wants to do, So live your life, sister. And like when people can come and show you a better way, or to show you some way that may outdo what you're doing, then hey, this is your life. And remember, every day is a day that you can customize. Each and one of us. Why are you living somebody else's custom day? Live the day that you want to live with it. We move on. So we're talking about breakfast. For instance, some of the research that I was talking about indicates that foregoing breakfast may result in a reduced calorie intake. So a lot of people say, hey, I'm going to do that because I will eat less calories. But moreover, partaking in the intermittent fasting during this breakfast is either skipped or is consumed later on in that day. And it has been linked with a plethora of benefits, including improved blood sugar control and reductions in inflammatory markers. Now, however, the intermittent fasting, let's look at that for a minute. This can also be accomplished by consuming a regular breakfast, then having your last meal earlier in the evening to maintain a fasting window of 14 to 16 hours. In other words, you don't want to wait real late to eat. I think that this is something you do temporarily. Most fasting results gives you more discipline. It gives you more confidence, and fasting makes people make them feel good by doing something. They're doing something right. They're doing something for their body. They're doing something to make themselves healthier. Keep in mind that this doesn't apply to growing children and teens, or those that increase nutrient needs, such as being pregnant, or those with certain health conditions, as skipping meals, or they're not eating at all, which means they're restricting their meals, and all of this can lead to negative health, or counterproductive health effects, and this is throughout our population. Let's just go over a couple of more things that you can also add to your list of things. Is that you need to eat. One thing that's said constantly, you hear this: how should I eat? And you'll hear professionals say things like, you need to eat small, frequent meals for optimal health. Well, see, that's the same thing, almost the same portion control, but is speaking to all of your meals should be small meals. Now, I say a meal should not be a big deal. Now, I don't know that's rhyming, but a meal should not be a big event every time you have breakfast, dun, 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 in Oprah's voice. And then you have, like your largest meal, lunch, and then you have dinner. It should be more like breakfast, anyone? Your largest meal and your smallest meal. It should not be with the trumpets and the brothers coming down the street like the HBCUs. It's really about eating in balance, eating what you need that reflects what you're doing, eating what you need that reflects what you're doing. You eat what you need to reflect what you're doing. You see? So in other words, if you are a model and you're going to walk up and down the stage and you're showing what you're wearing, that is burning some calories. So you eat according to that. How do you know? You eat by making sure that you have a little food before you do your work to give you enough energy to get through to that. For instance, if you're going to work for 2 hours straight, you want to make sure that you got a little something to snack on. You shouldn't ever work 4, 5, 6 hours straight without drinking water or having a snack. It should be something that you do to keep your blood sugar up, to keep your energy up, and to keep your awareness sharp. Eating frequent meals throughout the day is not the best way to promote weight loss. It is not the best way. So again, remember, you keep those 4 things in mind. You need to have nutrient-dense food. You need to have some kind of physical activity. You also need to be able to rest deeply, and you need to have a team. Even if it's one person, you need somebody that supports you in achieving your goal. Other than that, there ain't nothing but conversation. Nothing but conversation. It's a dream, and a dream won't be turned into a reality until you place on it a start date and a deadline. Anything else is just a dream. You see? So reality is what we want to do. Some of the non-nutritive sweeteners, they say that they're healthy. They're in science, they're called NNSs. The rise in interest in these low calorie, low carb, sugar free foods has led in an increase for these certain products that are non-nutritive sweeteners. Now, while it's clear that the diet is high in added sugar significantly increases disease, the intake of these non-nutritive sweeteners can also lead to negative health outcomes. So if you're eating like some of the things like levulose, galactose, if you have sucrose, sucralose, all of these different than what are also called, some of these are called alcohol sugars. These are when you ingest these in large amounts, not every once in a while. If you're chewing gum like once, twice a month, okay, I'm saying again, make sure that you balance this out, okay? Because the non-nutritive sweeteners, they may lead to adverse health outcomes such as the increase in risk of type 2 diabetes and negative changes in your gut bacteria. And we talk about that many, many times. We talk about having a healthy gut. Surrounding the gut or protecting the gut is very, very important too, because this is called endothelium, and the endothelium is actually starts to be destroyed when you are eating fish, when you're eating chicken, when you're eating beef, when you're eating goat, when you're eating duck, when you're eating turkey. All of the whenever we eat meat, we're also challenging the endothelium. Look at endothelium on the Doctors Arif channel on YouTube. Just go there, click it on, and it educates you about endothelium, something that people don't talk about a lot. Okay, so these are other things that we won't go in today, but the macronutrient ratio that matters more than the diet. White potatoes are unhealthy. You hear all of these kinds of things. Another one that you hear is low fat and diet foods are healthy alternatives. And they're not, and especially those people that are eating artificial foods. Okay, we're coming up on that time. The last thing I want to say is that the supplements are a waste of money. That is not true. That is not true at all. You know, for many, especially those with health conditions like type 2 diabetes, as well as those that may take common medications like statins or pro pump inhibitors, birth control, and the anti-diabetic medications, taking specific supplements can significantly act or be effective in their health. For example, supplementing with magnesium and B vitamins has been shown to benefit those with type 2 diabetes by enhancing blood sugar and reducing the heart disease risk factors and diabetes related complications. So by just taking your B vitamins and taking magnesium, you'll find that the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, and that's where you want to be, where you relax and you are resting and digesting. Okay, we're coming up on the hour, and I definitely know that I want to just share a couple of things with you, because I want to go. 9 out of every 10 people have some kind of digestive disorders. Everybody getting this stuff? This is really good. Thank you for staying here. We're giving you an hour of power so that you'll be empowered as you leave here to do the right thing, everybody. And when it comes to the 9 out of every 10 people having digestive disorders, there is some problem there with fiber. This is where a fiber supplement is very important. It's good. It's a great substitute for high fiber foods. Many people struggle with getting the adequate amount of dietary fiber because most of these people are eating animal foods and they don't come with the fiber. So fiber comes straight from these foods that like vegetables, beans, fruit, and other foods that can be partially digested or not digested at all. That's what fibrous foods are. Although fiber supplements can benefit health by improving your bowel movement and sugar, the blood sugar control. And I really want to make sure that you understand that. So if you're eating applesauce or pear nectar, or if you're eating bread that are like these breads that are just off the chart, especially you have Killer Dave's bread. I don't know if you've seen it before. It's expensive. It's definitely costs more than the regular bread, but the bread, I'm telling you, is is very, very good. We talked about the Kara and I talked about that the other day. That bread is off the chain. So check it out. Check it out. And this is really something that can really help you when it comes to regulating your bowel movement. Okay, now I'm going to come on up now for air. And we got a couple of minutes before we get out of here. Those are the bottom line is that we want you to know that when it comes to choosing what you have in your body, that there is updated, that knowledge is updated. Don't keep going year after year with the same old stuff, doing the same old stuff, eating the same old stuff, drinking the same old stuff. Got it? Woo! Yes, indeed. It's really a wonderful time to talk about this. So what's your next step? Think about that as Carolyn go ahead and get ready to take us out. Carolyn?
Absolutely, and great information like always. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif, and we appreciate your Oprah's voice. Oh, that Oprah, that's always funny to hear that. Thank you everyone so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. Our mission is to bring awareness, listen to your feedback, and now it's time for you to take action. I did want to point out there was a question for you, Dr. Zarif, that comes from Michael Carlisle, and he wanted to know, how do I come up to talk about sound therapy? And I know that we are right now, we've reached the mark as far as the live, but I think that would be something great for in the future.
Can you bring him up, Care?
I can. I don't know if he would be able to get let me see. I'll drop a link right now.
Yeah.
If he's still here. And
yeah, Michael. Yeah, man. I didn't even guess. Oh, that's good. So yeah, let's see if we can bring him up. We'll just go a little over because I would love to hear from him.
Yes. So if you're there, you're still here, Michael, just go ahead and click on that link, and it's going to take you through the process of getting into the studio with us. And if you can't, that's fine as well, because I know sometimes it may be something that we need to possibly rehearse sometimes. But I think that would be great. And he actually just dropped that in the comments. So I didn't want to just brush.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael, come on up. We'll love to have you. So we should know in a couple of minutes here.
Yes. And well, while we're doing that, something you mentioned, which was cereal. Anyone that's eating cereal or has been eating cereal, from being a little kid to an adult, would be borderline diabetic. I thought that was really interesting because that's something that a lot of black families grow up on, and that's raising the kids with cereal. It's a quick morning breakfast, get it and you go, but you really don't think about all that sugar that is there. And I see Michael is in the studio with us.
Hey, all right. Thank you for that, Kara. That was really a good point. I wanted to go, on as far as the cereal. Yeah, those of us that are grown people and we're still eating some boxed cereal, that's something that you can do to definitely change it. Okay, so let's make sure that that cereal is for emergencies. It's not an everyday thing. So let's go ahead and move. How you doing, my brother? How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How you?
You look great. You look great. I remember, look at those cheeks.
Thank you.
Hey, brother, go right ahead. You wanted to go ahead and share some points of view.
Okay, I wanted to talk about sound therapy. I had a knee injury a couple of years ago, and my knee, it's like it refused to heal. Something happened with the sound here. It's like my knee refused to heal. And I remember reading that our ancient ancestors created music for the purpose of healing. But they tune to a different frequency than what we tune to today. And I decided to dig deeper into that. And I learned that the frequency 174 hertz relieves pain. So I just decided to take my headphones one day and play a 174 hertz frequency through my earphones, and I put the earphones on my knee and I let it play for 20 minutes. And to my surprise, my knee didn't hurt for like 2 weeks. And so I went out and bought a set of tuning forks, and I took the 174 tuning fork and used it on my knee every day for a couple of weeks. And then I learned that the 285 restores tissue, that helps restore tissue damage. And I used the 285 on my knee as well. And I haven't had any problems out of my knee since. You know, I was really surprised at how fast that worked. And that's what I want to say. If anybody
that's fascinating. And let's go ahead. You were like, how long did it take you how long did it take from the time that you were aching to the time that you had no pain? How much time was that? I mean, hours?
I was aching for almost 2 years, but it only took 2 weeks for my knee to heal using sound therapy.
Oh my God. That is incredible. Please leave some comments if you've had some this kind of thing happen. It's really incredible that some people don't even have any idea about this. Like there's the different therapies, like, you have aromatherapy. Now you're saying, music therapy is super important. It's even in hospitals now. So this is not just a individual that just say, no, I'm about music therapy. This is real. These are some of the things, I've said it before, that most of the most incredible powers that we have on earth are all invisible. And
yeah, because when I told Brother Joe Norman about it,
yeah,
I was surprised when he told me that every time he go to get a checkup, the doctor used a tuning fork on his knees and ankles.
Yeah. Yes, the vibration can cause changes in tendons, in muscles, in bones, and joints, and it can affect the nervous system. And that's what happens when we get in that parasympathetic nervous system. That's why I keep saying sleep. Don't sleep on sleep, because this is when your body is in the calmest state. And although it gets to a state, of course, where you are unconscious, but this is where your body heals the best. And that's really wonderful news, Michael. Are you still using this therapy?
I haven't needed to, but I use it to balance myself every day now. I use all 7 of the frequencies for the chakra system, and it's been helping me a lot, helping me stay balanced during the day. And the research that I've been doing is some scientists are saying that the frequency that our music is tuned to today, the world standard of 440 hertz,
yes,
is in direct conflict with the vibrations of the universe. And they say that we actually should not be tuning our instruments to that frequency. That our ancestors actually tuned their instruments to 432.
Yes.
And I've found there's a lot of musicians that start switching back to 432. And I wrote and released some music at 432. And I've actually had a woman from Japan and a woman from Africa contact me and say my music took away their stress from the day.
Oh man, you may be onto something. That sounds great. Healing music,
Yes.
you know, just for the purpose of healing. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, in that vibration, that level. Give us an idea of how that music would sound. What is it? Just guitar, bass? Is it singing, or what is it?
Well, most people that do that, they put out meditation music. But I decided, why not put out regular music, regular jazz, regular, dance music that actually heals people and they don't even realize they're being healed.
Wow. Is that playing at a certain
you just change the master tuning of your instrument from 440 to 432.
Okay. So
and just practicing every day will have a healing effect on you.
Now, if it's already to 440, and you want to go to 432, let's say on the guitar, what would that look like?
You can actually change if you're using a guitar tuner.
Yeah.
You can actually go into the settings of your guitar tuner and switch it to 432.
I love it.
And just tune your guitar as normal.
That is so great, because you know what I'm thinking about. This is how you can manipulate the entire audience.
They having a good time and don't even realize they're having a healing effect.
Yes, that's awesome, brother.
And I love it. I mean, since I switched to 432 with all of my instruments, I haven't had a headache in a long time.
Oh man. This is, man, my mind is going like this. We got to move on this, man. You and I've been working on or working on some music for years.
Oh man, it get crazy around here, man. I've been buying toys like crazy.
Oh man, I have too. I'll call you and we're gonna talk about that, because I just got 2 new toys.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, right. I'm going on the America's Got Talent audition next week, the day before my birthday, which is next Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, so next Sunday we're going in for it. That's February the 4th, and myself and along with another guy, we're going in for an audition. It's great just to be, man. I'm auditioning, and like I have grandchildren. I love it.
Hey, never stop having fun, man.
That's never. And everybody else, the listeners, Michael is a professional. What would you call that with the kites, Michael?
I'm a professional kite flyer. We do what's called kite ballet, and it's synchronized kite flying to music with other people. Yeah. My team has we've been up for the World Cup. We made it that far, actually. We almost flew for President Clinton's inauguration. Some people refer to us as America's kite team. For a long time, we were the only black kite team in the world.
Whoa!
And
that's
it was like
the whole world. That's
in the whole world.
Yeah,
the black kite team.
Wow!
And
that's 7.5 billion. Everybody, just in case you.
And we white people thought they couldn't fly with us. They thought we were all black by design, but we were just all black because of where the team formed at. The team formed on Belle Isle in Detroit. So we put a white guy on the team, and for years, people would not accept him as a member of the team.
Oh, man.
And then
cold-blooded.
So we just had to start yelling at the announcer, he's not a guest flyer. He's on the team.
Right.
And then Premier Kites over in China, they created a radio control kite. And they wanted us to be the first team to have those. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So they sent us some to test out which ones we wanted, So we end up picking 2 that we wanted,
Right.
So days we wanted one for indoors and one for outdoors. And so they said, okay, well, we'll give you one free and one half price, So we're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we started flying those, and they already Premier was working with Skyburner Kites, which is one of our sponsors.
Yes.
And Skyburner already had a guy that was flying radio controlled kites, just testing them out. And they had hired him to go around promoting them. And they wanted him to travel with us.
Yeah.
And so we said, well, you're not going to hang out with us and only fly radio control. You're going to do what we do.
That's right.
So we end up adding another white guy to the team, So now they know they can fly with us, But like I said, we was never all black by design anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I get a lot of free vacations out of this deal, We've been all over the world flying kites.
That's beautiful, and now it's going to be even more beautiful now that you got the key to the vibes that 432 is on. That's awesome.
Yes.
Andre is saying that, wow, I need to try that, brother. He's talking to you about the vibe. He said that he used to jump off of planes and being airborne, that he injured his knees. I think that's where we're going with this. And
I always joke with Andre and say, you're supposed to open the chute before you hit the ground.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
But Andre, I'm gonna see you later today anyway, brother, and we're gonna be together tomorrow, and I'll do some sound therapy on you, and I'll buy you your own kit, because I'll help you out with that if you want me to.
Oh, that's beautiful. And then I want to have, why don't y'all do that this week, and then we're gonna come back here next week, and we'll talk about the difference that Andre feels.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. That's Michael Carlisle in the house out of Detroit. My wonderful brother, always not just another brother, but a brother like no other.
I love you too, brother.
I love you too. Take care, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad, Michael is just extraordinary, and I love that the brother is so brilliant. And let me tell you, he plays every instrument, he sings, he arranges, and he's always been, whatever he does, he masters it. Just really incredible. So I'm glad to have him on, and we'll have him on next week. Carolyn, before we get out of here, you want to have, I see that Mr. Gentle did join us up here, as we said earlier. So we always want to have hello in place for him. Carolyn, you want to go ahead and take us out? And before you do that, I just want to say thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week, 8 a.m. PST.
Absolutely. That was just great information. 174 hertz for relieving the pain. That's great information to know. And I'll definitely do my research on that as well. Thank you all so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. As I mentioned earlier, we want to bring, just make sure everyone come on over to the live if you want to watch the replay. If you want to watch the replay, you can always go on over to the Dr. Farid Zarif channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We are building up the channel. So everyone, thank you all so much for joining us. As Dr. Zarif mentioned, we are here every Saturday, 8 a.m. PST. So until next time, thank you all so much. And Michael, thank you so much for joining us here on stage. All right, everyone, have a great